Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joe Martin, and in this video we're going to walk around Martin's new rent-to-rent service accommodation deal. Right Martin, you've got this new deal in Grimsby. Can you tell us a bit about the deal, like the figures, the market research, how you got the property to start with?
Yeah, so I got this property by purchasing another property with the same estate agents. While I was purchasing that property, I said to them about the rent-to-rent strategy and stuff like that. They was really interested, managed to get me this property, which is a fantastic property. The rent is £840 a month. It's a 4-bedroom property. It's got a nice ensuite as well, which is a bonus. Utilities and rent included, outgoings are about £1,100 a month. We're going to rent this out for about £120 a night. On 75% occupancy, should bring in about 3.5 grand, which will be about 2.5 grand profit. So I signed the lease for this property 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Obviously now all of the furniture's in, dining table, sofas, all the beds and stuff like that. So you can turn them around really quickly. I know I staged this myself, turn around, it's my job, but this is really important to get them looking nice for when the guests come in. For Airbnb, everyone's scrolling through the apps and stuff. The pictures are the thing that draw you to booking it. So the better that it looks in the pictures, the more chance people are going to click on the listing. You've got the more chance of that converting to a booking that way. So we always try and make sure, like, we have a feature wall, nice bits of art, the light's always good. Like, obviously with a big open plan living room, kitchen like this, really good for socialising. So when contractors and families come, do you know what I mean? It really does tick all the boxes.
I was doing a tour around here then, so like say your dining room table, you've got like cutlery in here, everything like that. Yeah, that's what you provide for them.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you leave for the cleaners and that sort of thing, like a cupboard for cleaners and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so upstairs we've got one of the rooms that's got like a water tank. So that water tank area is locked. We've got a lock on that. There'll be all of the replenishable stuff like coffee, tea, biscuits, all the cleaning products, extra toilet roll and all that. So she's got her own designated cleaning place where the guests aren't going to be pinching all the stuff.
For the sofa, just for this example here,
you
could get this on Facebook Marketplace. What's the reason that you kind of pay a bit more money to furnish the property?
Basically, it's just through personal relations. Like, obviously being in Grimsby now, I've been in here sort of 8 months roughly. I've built up good relationships with people that have shops and that sell this stuff to the general public. But after buying them, I get them at a discounted rate. Yeah. So I like to keep that relationship there. So we've got an agreement that every time I have a property that I need to stage, I get the beds from a certain place, I get the sofas from a certain place, all my kitchenware and kitchen tables come from a certain place. But like, these would probably usually go for around 1,200 quid. And I get them from my guy, it's 700 quid. He'll deliver it the same day. They're really good condition. Like, they're all brand spanking new. They're all wash proof, bleach proof, stain proof. So longevity wise, for me, it's a good investment. If I spend 350 to 400 pounds getting a used one, and then someone comes and stains it and I've got no warranty on it, it's kind of just money wasted, you know. So same as the beds. All the beds come with a warranty. If any of the slats or anything break, we can then take them back and get them replaced. So we spend a little bit more money, but we've got the replacements for longevity if we need them.
For the property, and the landlord situation and everything like that, is there anything you need to consider for the property itself? So like gas safety certificate, EICR, everything like that. Is there anything that you kind of look for before you take on a property to make sure it's compliant?
That's the good thing about an estate agent. So when you do get a rent-to-rent property from an estate agent, it's the estate agent's job to make sure that the property complies. So the estate agent will then go to the landlord to make sure the landlord's got the EIRC, the gas safety check, it meets all the fire safety regs and stuff like that. So for me, I know that I'm taking on a property that complies already because it's coming through the estate agents. Same as with the deposit, I know my deposit is in a safe place because it's with a deposit protection scheme through the estate agent, So it's good getting these off-market deals through landlords privately, but then you have got a question, is it legit? We know that all these doors are fire doors, so if the government do bring in a fire safety reg or something like that, then we're going to comply with that. So longevity wise, we know that we're safe. This is the first bedroom. It is one of the larger bedrooms of the property. One of the reasons why I took this property on was because of the location. You do have the beach literally at the end of this road. Like I said before, the town is literally just the other way. You've got all the arcades and restaurants 2 minutes away as well. Like I said, we do try and go a little bit upper class with the beds. When you are having contractors stay and families stay, we always get comments based off how comfortable the beds were, and how, like, we always upgrade the mattresses. Every single property has upgraded mattresses, just because when you come to these houses, a good night's sleep does wonders. Especially when the contractors are out all day, or people are out at the beach all day. They come back, they've got a nice place to come and stay at the night time. So these beds, they're all doubles. We get the upgraded headboards, upgraded mattresses, and we get to choose the colours that we have. And they're about 270 quid a bed. So this is really quite affordable. You can't get them much cheaper than that, and you definitely can't get them this spec at that price. But it all comes from building relationships, you know. Like, it's not all about how cheap you can get it, it's about what value you're getting for the money as well. Mirrors are obviously always important. Make sure women like to look good, so always have mirrors in them. Plenty of storage, nice little lamp on the side, somewhere to sit and stuff like that. But these big windows are great as well, because they let so much light in the room. When you're taking the pictures for the advertisement, it instantly looks better. And obviously we're a bit overcast today, but sometimes up here there's not a cloud in the sky and it's just pure blue. It looks perfect. So when we're taking on these properties for rent to rents and stuff like that, we always try and make sure that they do have the thermostatic showers. It's a massive bonus for us. You get to have the nice fancy overhead shower rather than the poncy little electric ones that don't really do much. But this is just the main shower. Obviously we do have an ensuite upstairs, but there's plenty of space here. We've got a bath, shower, everything you need. Everything's pretty much tiled, so it's easy to clean. This is one of the smaller rooms, obviously not as nice and glamorous as the other ones, but it does the job. You can still get a double room in here. You still got all of your clothes storage and your mirrors and stuff like that. Every room can't be a huge room, and they still book out just as well. Yeah, plenty of daylight. All the beds are the same. It's a pretty simple one, you know. Just keep it simple, keep it the same. All the pictures still look good. They're all painted to quite a good standard. We try and do these sort of like decorative feature walls and stuff like that, just to make the place look a bit more interesting. But yeah, sometimes simple is the best way. So got the utility room. It's not something really that comes in many properties, but we take advantage of it when they do come available. It just means that washing machines, tumble dryers, might even get a small fridge freezer in here. It just takes some of the clutter out of the kitchen, you know, more usable space in there. It's also nice that you can put the washing machine on, shut the door, and you haven't got it rattling around in the kitchen, so it makes a bit of a nicer living space as well for everyone. So this is the master bedroom. It's got a really nice ensuite there as well, and you've got a slightly better view of the sea just being a bit further up. But again, this is just the sort of service that we provide. The Airbnb rent to rent sort of service accommodation model is perfect for those people that want a bit of a passive income once you get it systemised. Like, there are bookings that have to be done, there's automated replies that have to be done, the payments have to be automated and stuff like that. Cleaners, we automate all of our cleaners. It's mainly just working out what niche and what service you're offering to get the actual people to come and stay. Once you've got the people that are coming to stay constantly, the cleaners are coming to clean constantly, do you know what I mean? The diary starts booking up constantly. It's just a passive. You do need to spend a little bit of time and effort doing it, but if you're making, I don't know, let's just say £750 to £1,000 a month, and all you've got to do is say, oh, the cleaner needs to clean on this day, and oh, we need some more tea and coffee, and oh, we need this. It's almost like a little side hustle that you can grow to replace your full-time job, and it's a really easy way to get out of full-time employment as well.
So for people who are just starting out in the strategy, then they find a property, they've spoken to the landlord, he's happy with the model of, you know, renting it as a corporate let. What's next?
So you will need a company let contract, and you have to make sure that obviously you're renting the property in a company name. Don't know if anyone's aware, but if you rent a property in your own name and then rent it out, it's classed as subletting. That is illegal in the UK, can't do it. So the way that we strategise this is by my business will rent this property, I will be the guarantor. Once the contracts are signed, deposits paid, rent's paid, we always try and negotiate, it's called a grace period. So like, we're going to take this property on, it needs a lick of paint, it needs furnishing. Can we have 2 weeks where we don't pay any rent but we have access to the property? And 9 times out of 10 they understand at the end of the day it is a business, so it gives us 2 weeks where we're not actually paying any money and we still get to make progress with the property. So then when we pay that first month's rent, it's already staged, ready to go, and it's earning us money as well. But then that's when the wallet comes out and you need to sort of go into all the shops, you need to buy all the bedding, all the pots and pans, or a massive Amazon order, create a wish list and then just order everything at once. Whilst you're painting the property, get everything delivered to the property whilst you're painting it, so you don't have to sit there all day waiting for things to turn up before you can start. Good quality curtains, like you have to have blackout curtains, and it's just trying to search around and just buy, like I said, the best stuff you can for the cheapest price. There's nothing wrong with comparing prices and sort of shopping around at multiple different places. It takes a few times to get your routine, your bearings. Like I now know that when I take a property on, I'm going to this shop for that and that shop for that, and how much things cost. So I know as soon as I walk in, right, it's 3 beds, that's going to cost that, it's all of this, it's all of that, and I know just by walking into a property how much I'm going to spend, which then helps me with my due diligence before I actually take the property on.
So do you think roughly for 2, 3, 4 bed, how much are you looking to pay for the furnishings and that sort of thing? Roughly, is that £4,000 like a normal figure for all properties, or does it vary?
Yeah, so it varies a little bit because the beds are quite an expensive cost, and obviously the bigger the house is, the bigger the sofa needs to be, which means it costs more. But we sort of allow roughly about £500 a room. So if you've got £500 in the kitchen, if it's a 3-bedroom house, that's another £500. We allow £500 for like a little contingency as well, so that's what we work off of roughly. And if there's a little bit of money left over, we'll upgrade a few things, or we'll get nicer towels or nicer bedding, or we'll get extra photos and stuff like that. So, or if it comes under budget, it comes under budget, and it's just easier to get all of our investment back at the end of it. So, big tip for me, for you guys to give a bit of value, is it's important to tell everyone what you're doing, whether you feel like it's something to sort of talk to them about or not. It's where it's going to get you in the future. So obviously I got this rent-to-rent property by telling the estate agents when I was buying a property, I mentioned the rent-to-rent model. And then when I took this property, I looked over and I see that there was a big bit of land at the back, and I questioned them at the viewing and said, oh, what's happening with the land there? I said, well, funnily enough, it's going to be coming to sale. Would you be interested? And I'm personally not interested because I don't have the finance, but I do know investors and developers that are potentially invested. So there's a bit of property, there's a bit of land out the back that's already got planning permission for 11 3-bed houses. The asking price is about £250,000, which doesn't seem too bad, but unfortunately at the moment I don't have £250,000 plus the probably £1 million plus to actually develop the site. So it is really important to just tell everyone what you're doing. You never know where opportunities and sort of honest situations come from. So massive thing is just tell everyone what you're doing, be confident and passionate what you do and what you say, and always try and add value, and it'll always come back to you later on down the line. So this is the final bedroom in the property. Again, not one that's too glitz and glam, but sometimes simple is best. Just nice double bed. We've got a wardrobe, a clothes shelf that's going to be coming in here. It's right by the front of the house, loads of natural light. Obviously, as you can tell, there's no road noise at all. Another good thing about these rent-to-rent properties, if they've got good windows, it's another massive selling point because there is no road noise. If you do get the odd sort of late night pub stroller, he doesn't wake you up in the middle of the night. So it sounds a little bit complicated, but these are all the little things that we do look for when we take these properties into consideration, because all it takes is one bad review to say, oh, there's a pub 20 minutes down the road and we get all the late night hooligans making a bit of a noise. When you do get these properties, you don't have that problem, so you don't get the bad reviews, you don't get the lack of booking. So little things like that do have a massive impact later on down the line, so always take that into consideration. So this is the cleaner's cupboard that we mentioned. It does have the water heat tank in here as well, but this is going to be the room that's going to have a padlock on it. It's going to have only access by the cleaner. It will have spare linen, extra pillowcases and stuff like that. All of the replenishable stuff, consumables, teas, coffees, biscuits, all of the cleaning products will be in here. Hoover, all the bits that the cleaner needs. We'll supply extra bits for the guests when they stay, but they'll all be presented on the beds and in the kitchen as well, so there's not We don't have loads of towels and loads of biscuits and teas and coffees floating around because they never stay in the property. So we keep them all in here. It takes no time at all for the cleaner to come in, grab what she needs, and then give it to the guests when they need it.
So the rent-to-rent service accommodation strategy, who would you say this strategy is for at first? Is it for people that are literally just trying to find a way into property, or do you think it's for experienced investors as well?
I think really it's for anyone that wants to generate a cash flow in the property industry. It does suit the people that are trying to get started because obviously the capital requirement is a lot less. With a property like this, obviously the rent was $840, the deposit was $840-ish, so that's 1,600 quid, and then you probably need $3,500 to stage it. Yeah. So you're looking at about $5,000. But if I'm making, let's just say 1,500 quid a month profit, 3 or 4 months I'm going to be then positive cash flow, and then I've got that then for the longevity, I don't know, 2-3 years. So it really is a good investment, and then you can recycle that money into another rent-to-rent property, and all of a sudden you could be earning 5k a month. But like, I own houses myself, I've got HMOs and other different things, but this is just a small different trickle of income, you know, and it's good for me to keep building that as well.
So I suppose you probably make profit, what's that, about 10-15 grand? For this one deal?
Yeah, per year.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, if you get it on a 3-year lease, it's 45 grand.
Would you suggest getting on like a 3 or 4 or 5 year lease then, would you?
Yeah, so the longer lease the better. We've also got to work out what the landlord situation is as well. I always recommend having a break clause because sometimes we do get our numbers wrong or our due diligence isn't quite correct. So we always recommend a 6-month break clause. You can then reassess your relationship with the investor or the landlord as well, because it might be that he's a pain in the arse and you don't want to work with him anymore. You can then just give the keys back.
So what benefits do you think the landlord has with working with yourself than just renting it out to tenants, for example?
Well, properties are furnished and kept in this condition. We have cleaners in every checkout. We have a cleaning team come in, make sure it's spotless. Any damage and maintenance is covered by us. He gets a guaranteed rent. There's no problem with sort of tenants not paying any rent because the people that come from Airbnb, they're technically classed as guests, so they don't have any tenancy rights. I don't have any tenancy rights because it's rented through my limited company. So if I don't pay rent 2 weeks' time, you can just kick me out.
Right, got you.
But yeah, it's a win-win really for everyone involved.
For everyone. So this is yet to go live.
Yeah.
So what left have you actually got left to do for this property then?
Literally just a double check all the painting, make sure everything's nice and clean.
Yeah.
We need to get a fridge done. You give it a final once check over, and that's it. It should be live by the end of the week.
Nice.
And hopefully with the properties like this, they do get booked up pretty quick. So this time next week, there's probably going to be contractors or a family enjoying their time in Grimsby. So.
Thanks for watching today, guys. If you want to get in touch with Martin, how do they get in touch with yourself, Martin?
So Instagram, it's martinadams_property. I've got a website which is www.m3pi.co.uk, and email is martin@m3pi.co.uk.
And Martin's going to be the keynote speaker at the Investors Platform networking event at the Hilton Hotel in Lincoln. So if you're interested and want to get a ticket, it's a 2-for-1 deal right now. It's £15 each, and the link will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.